side, we are going to discuss about elements of effective safety program. So there are many government regulations which do not currently require any employees to have written safety and health program. So the only best way to satisfy the requirements is to reduce the accidents is for employees to produce one. Okay. So in addition to that, the distributing the written safety and health program to employees can increase the employee awareness of safety and health hazards, while at the same time, while at the same time reduces the cost associated with workplace injuries, illness, and fatalities. So the guidelines for safety and health programs suggest that effective occupational and safety and health program must include the following, that is management, commitment and leadership, assignment of responsibility, identification and control of hazard, training, education, record keeping, hazard analysis, and availability of first aid and medical assistance. So these are basically the different elements of safety and health program. Okay. So we'll see one by one. Management, commitment and leadership. So generally a policy statement which should be developed and signed by top person in the company. So it can be either owner, manager, okay, CEO. Safety and health goals and objectives should be included to assist with establishing workplace goals and objectives that demonstrate the company's commitment to safety. An enforcement policy is provided to outline disciplinary procedures for violations of the company's health program. This safety and health as well as the enforcement policy should be communicated to everyone in the construction job site. So basically, the procedure, whatever you create the policy or guidelines, it should be matched with your workplace, the organization goals and objective, and it also, gives proper instruction to the workers, okay, so that they can work according to the procedure established by the management. Okay, so it should be communicated to everyone on the job site, so that they will know what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Okay, so some of the key aspects found under the heading management and leadership, that is policy statement. So these are the things that will be used to established under management, commitment and leadership. So policy statement, under that we have goals established, issued, communicated to employees. Program should be revised annually. Participation in safety meetings, inspections, commitment of resources adequate in the form of budgeted dollars, safety rules and procedures. Statement that management is bound to adhere to safety rules. Procedure for enforcement. So these are different policies that has been developed, should be developed under management, commitment and leadership. The safety and health policy statement clearly clarifies the policy and standardizes safety within the company and provides support for safety and supports the enforcement of safety and health within the company. So when I say enforcement, it means that how do we going to enforce that safety aspect in the company or in a project. Okay, goals and objectives are very important. It should be directly observable and measurable. It should be reasonable and attainable also. Okay, so these are some examples of goals and objectives and issues faced by those using them. So we are going to see some examples. Whenever an organization is establishing goals, they find some issues in implementing the goals or objective, because they might frame a goal which may not be feasible in execution. Okay, in executing the such goals, it may not be feasible. So I'll show some examples. That is, you can see zero fatalities or serious injuries. So this is a one goal. Okay, this is usually a pie in the sky or unreachable goal for most contractors. Example, if you had 25 accidents last year, zero is probably not possible, right? So that's why this kind of unimaginable goals are not advisable. Okay, reduce injuries, lost workday accidents, and workers' compensation is climbed by dash. Increase productivity through reduction of injuries by what percentage? So these are like different examples of goals and objectives you can frame. Okay, reduce our workman's compensation cost, increasing the number of claims to or by cost by percentage. So this is something you can do in your project. Okay, enhance company image by working safely. So can you measure this in some way? No, right? So you cannot measure such things. So it should be measurable. Okay. So keep safety a paramount part of workers' daily activities. So what is the indicator for this? It's not defined properly. Number of near miss, report of hazards, number of observable unsafe act. So this is okay. And recognize and promote safe work practices. So this is not the goal. Okay, this is like it's not an outcome also. Just rewarding something. Okay, it's not measurable outcome of object. So we'll go to next element, that is assignment of responsibility. Assignment of responsibility identifies the responsibilities of management officials, supervisors, and employees. An emphasis on responsibility for safety and health is more creditable if everyone is held accountable for their safety and health performance as related to established goals. A contractor should designate an individual who knows the site, has knowledge of safety and health, and accountable for safety and health function. We have to designate some individual who is more knowledgeable with respect to safety and health, so that they can be accountable for whatever the actions they are doing. Okay, so all supervisors must be told that responsibilities for job safety and health. So all employees should be informed that informed of the exceptions related relevant to safety and health on the job site. So you have to assign responsibilities to a person in charge in the construction site. Okay, that is what the another element we are talking about. The next element is identification and control of hazards. So the name itself says that it is you are going to identify and control the hazard. Okay, so it includes items that assist you with identifying workplace hazards and determining what corrective actions is necessary to control them. So you are going to give some corrective actions. How are you going to prevent it in future? These items include job safety inspections, accident investigations, safety and health community, and project safety meetings. So identification and control of hazard should include periodic site safety inspection program that involves supervisors. So when I say supervisors, it may be safety officer, any technical staff. Okay. Safety inspection should ensure that preventive controls are in place. When I say preventive controls, it means that engineering controls, maintenance, PPE cards, whatever you implement in the construction. That action is taken quickly to address the hazard. That technical resource such as OCHA state agencies, professional organization consultants used over is getting enforced. Okay, they are enforcing the safety in a project. Okay. The core of safety and health program is a identification, hazard identification and control. Okay, so out of all the elements, one of the most important elements of safety program is identification of hazard and control. Okay, so periodic inspection is required here, and also correction procedures for correction is also needed. Okay, whenever you find hazard, you're going to provide corrective actions. Okay. So it is a one way to eliminate or control the hazards in the workplace. Hazard control system provides the basis for developing safe work procedures and injury and illness prevention training. Okay. Hazard occurring and recurring reflect a breakdown in the hazard control system. So in this way, we can able to analyze it. First, we have to identify, analyze, and then we can able to eliminate them. Okay, or by controlling it. Okay. So written safety and health program generally establishes the procedures and responsibilities. So you have to establish a written program. Written means you have to write it in a document and you have to get signed with the concerned authority. Okay, you have to establish some procedures and you have to assign some responsibilities in the workplace. Okay, so following activities used by the company or contractor to identify the workplace hazards. Example. These are the written program that can establish the job site inspections, accident investigation, safe operating procedure, SOP. SOP is generally used term in the construction site. Safety and health committees Usually, we form a committee called the Safety and Health Committee site. As a part of safety and health program, responsible site contractor for each project needs to identify high hazard areas of operation and determine inspection priorities and establish inspection responsibilities and schedules. And finally, we have to develop a management system to review, analyze, and take corrective action on inspection findings. So whenever if we have, we go for inspection, we have to find some hazard analyze and we have to, take some hazard control measures. Okay. Only then we can able to find which hazard is a high hazard area, which hazard is low hazard area. We can divide that and we can, uh, uh, take some corrective actions, okay, in order to minimize that kind of hazard in future. All accidents should be investigated to determine casual factors and prevent future recurrence of similar accidents. And uh, one of the more important thing is written report of investigation findings. Whenever you investigate accident or any hazard, you have to written that. You have to make a note of it. Okay, your findings. So whenever a person is getting injured, you have to get a written document and get approval from the supervisor and submit it to the site superintendent for review. In most cases, a standard format should be developed to ensure that each accident information report is consistent and complete. So for your project, every company will have their own standard format. Whenever accident takes place, you have to follow some format. You have to take some details, take a written document from them. Okay? Whenever an accident is reported, the supervisor of the injured worker should respond to the scene of the accident as soon as possible and complete the supervisor's accident. All witnesses should be interviewed privately as soon as possible after the accident. So you have to take interview, and if possible, the supervisor should interview the workers at the scene of the accident, and so the events leading to the accident can be reenacted. So you can collect as much as possible information, from the site. Photograph should be taken as soon as possible after the accident. Should include the time and date again. So you have to mention the time and date in the photograph. Okay, it's very much needed information. So another element is training and education. So it is one of the most important element of any safety and health program. So without this, you cannot implement such effective safety program in your site. Each training item should describe methods for introducing and communicating new ideas into the workplace, reinforcing existing ideas and procedures, implementing a safety and health program into action. You have to communicate it, you have to implement it. So trainers may range from supervisor training, especially work task training, employee updates, new worker orientation. These are the different training you can implement in your projects. Okay. If you give training to the new employee, it can be called as orientation. Sometimes work task training take place. For the project like specialized project, certain tasks will be done. In some new equipment or a new procedure, newly established procedure, new technology. In that case, the employee has to be trained, right? So that's why we have to give work task training. So the new site training should include at least one of the factors like use of PPE procedure for reporting injuries, site-specific hazard communication training, say complete safety and health program policy, supervisor responsibility, hazard identification and reporting procedure, site to map and wherever appropriate. So this is all important information you can provide or you can train the labels. Okay, location of first aid station, fire extinguisher, emergency telephone number. So everything is very important for the labor to know. Okay, it is a very good idea to follow up and all training which may include working with more experienced workers, supervisor coaching, job observation, and reinforcing good safety work practice. Supervisors are also responsible for prevention of accidents for plants under the direction as well as thorough accident prevention and safety training for the employees they supervise. Therefore, all supervisors will receive training so that they have sound theoretical and practical understanding. Okay, to know about everything, every safety measures that has been undertaken by their company. So they also receive training on OSHA standards, site emergency response plans, accident and injury reporting and investigation procedures, such as toolbox safety plans. So this I will discuss it later. Next element is record keeping and hazard analysis. So it identifies type of records that OSHA requires a company to maintain and who is responsible for maintaining these records. In this step, you are going to record all the information in a format and you are going to analyze it. Okay. So it enables you to learn the past experience and take corrective action to prevent the future injuries and illnesses. The record need to be maintained on employee injuries and illnesses, accident investigation, causes and proposed corrective measures, near misses, training records, maintenance records. So medical records should be maintained for the length of an employee employment plus 30 years. The records are confidential information from one medical record, employee's medical record should be released only to the employee. Okay. Without his consent, you cannot share that information to others. Training records should be maintained in each employee's personal file should be available for review upon request. So these information you can collect it and maintain it in your project. Okay. First aid and medical assistance. So it identifies the provision for a company to establish first aid and medical service at their job sites. Like to establish, like for example, you can say CPR training. Okay, CPR training has to be given to all the workers so that they have some idea or experience about it whenever the crew faces some problem due to some injuries or accidents. So all field supervisory personnel should be required to attend basic first aid and CPR training. So each job site will maintain a first aid log that includes the following information like date and time of injury, employee's name, immediate supervisor, nature and cause of injury, treatment rendered, and deposition of employee. So these information will be, recorded in the first aid log sheet. All the employees should be provided with the location of first aid station and for each job site. So all the information and instruction should be located in the same place. Okay. After that, we have emergency and firefighting procedures. So it is an integral part of food safety and health program. So the guidelines for firefighting should be conspicuously located and readily available at all times. All fighting equipment should be inspected and maintained at an operating location and should be inspected no less than once monthly with documentation maintained for each piece of equipment inspected. You have to make sure that it is working in all time. Okay, so discharged extinguisher damaged equipment should be immediately removed from service and replaced with operable equipment. So you have to replace it whenever we are using it or damaged or this extinguisher is being used operated. After that, we have to replace it. Okay. So individuals assigned for safety responsibility should receive necessary training to recognize fire hazard, inspect and maintain fire extinguishers, and know the proper use of each. A trained and equipped firefighting brigade should be established, and emergency procedures should be spelled out as related to response, action, and expectations for workers when such emergencies occur. Whenever there is an emergency, people have to know what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Okay, so that's why we are assigning some responsibilities, training, or education to the people. Okay, to recognize the fire hazard, especially the fighting equipment. How do they overcome this fire hazard? Okay, they may also include standard warning, alarm, emergency telephone, and communication procedure and evacuation plan. So these are the things you can adopt in your construction site whenever you feel like you are going to face fire hazard. You need to install all these systems. Okay, these procedures should be practiced by regular drills. The composition and components of safety and health program may vary depending upon the complexity of the operation. They should at least include management committee and health policy identification and evaluation, hazard control and prevention, and training. These are the things that at least should be adopted. At least it should be adopted in any construction projects. Okay. But whatever we saw till now, okay, the 6 or 7 elements can be employed, okay, can be implemented in your construction project.